Good good day, beloveds. Welcome to Lady Moatsi Healing Corner. I am here again doing just my normal routine check-in. I did not plan this one. I did not rehearse. I just feel a deep pull in my spirit to come here and speak because I have been carrying something heavy and I know that I'm not alone. I've been navigating through some very deep family pain, old wounds, new triggers, and the silence around it has been actually very loud. And this has led me to scripture, to the story of Hagar in Genesis chapter 16. You see, Hagar was cast out. She was alone, she was pregnant, and she was abandoned. She didn't have a platform. She didn't have any support. But God found her. In the wilderness, he found her, and she said, "You are the God who sees me." That is Genesis 16, verse 13. See, that verse broke me right open because trauma makes you feel invincible. I'm here to tell you that God sees you. He sees me. God sees our children even in the wilderness. I've been thinking a lot about how many of us carry all of these unsaid stories. These stories that we have buried very, very deep inside of us. The stories that we have been told to get over. Like, you need to get over it already. Why are you still hung up into that story? But honestly and truthfully, those stories, they don't disappear. They keep resurfacing in our anxiety. They resurface into our relationships, into our work, into our passions. They resurface into our parenting and into our bodies. And I have felt it. I'm still feeling it. Sleepless nights, that tight chest, that feeling of being on all the time. And I'm very sure that some of you feel it too. See, beloved, it's not personal. It's global. It is an international and a national crisis. South Africa, my beloved country, is currently in a mental health crisis. Recent data shows that 17.6% of young people live with PTSD. 10.1% live with depression, and the 6.5% live with anxiety disorder. These aren't just numbers, beloved. These are our children. In Gauteng province, a 13-year-old boy came home to find his older brother had taken his own life. In Tsakane, our police officers are dying silently without us knowing why. In schools, children are dying as young as 6 years old by suicide. And we are losing our future. We cannot stay silent, beloved. Let me just pause here and explain some things, because not everyone knows what these words mean: depression, PTSD, anxiety. Some, like me, we are learning as we go and as we are facing them. And sometimes we use them without understanding the weight they carry, without understanding what it actually means when we say somebody has PTSD. So let me shed a little bit of light to those who are like me, who are wondering, who have that teachable spirit and who wants to know and learn more. You see, PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. This is what happens when someone goes through something deeply, deeply, deeply painful or frightening. Something like abuse, like violence, like loss or neglect. And that experience does not leave the body. It doesn't, beloved. They may feel constantly on edge. They may have flashbacks, avoid certain places or people, or feel just emotionally numb. It's not just being dramatic, as people might say. A lot of people say I am dramatic, by the way. But that's not the case. That is the nervous system stuck in survival mode permanently. And depression, by the way, is not just sadness. It's a deep, heavy fog. It's a loss of interest in the things you used to love. It can feel like you underwater, watching life happen around you, but not being able to move. You see, some people will sleep too much and others won't sleep at all. For some, it can be a combination of both. Some eat too much. Others lose their appetite. Some resort to their own means of just having that spike of dopamine, whether they are using other substances, whether it is alcohol. I can tell you, majority of that crisis that we have is deeply rooted in PTSD and depression. While others lose their appetite, some eat for comfort. This is very real, beloved, and it is treatable. There are ways that we can offer help. There are ways that we can help ourselves as well. Anxiety, on the other hand, is like living with an alarm bell. It never turns off. It's constantly on, racing thoughts, tight chest, sweaty palms. It can show up perhaps even as overthinking. It can show up with panic attacks or even physical pain. It's not just worrying too much. It's the body truly protecting itself when there's actually not even any danger there. And that is anxiety. And here's something that I feel that I really, really need to say. Sometimes we fight the urge to speak because we know nobody wants to hear the truth. Nobody wants to hear the impact of the trauma that they have inflicted. And nobody wants to face that mirror. But just because they are not ready to face the truth, your healing should not be halted. You are allowed to speak. You are allowed to name the hurt. You are allowed to heal. Even if they have never apologized, even if they deny your truth, even if they pretend that it never happened. See, beloved, what I've realized in my journey, my personal journey of healing, is that there are certain beliefs, especially in our generation and the older one, that were shaped by survival, by shame, and by silence. Some of that conditioning came from abusers, narcissists, and tragically, some victims have now become abusers themselves. However, you, beloved, you can break that cycle. You can choose healing, and you can choose truth. And here's the hope. The hope is that God sees all of it. God sees that truth that they tried to bury, or that they have already buried. God sees the tears that are cried in silence, and He sees the strength it took for you to survive, for you to be here right now and hear this message that I'm giving today. God sees the healing that you are choosing now from this moment going forward. You are not alone, and you are not crazy. You are not too much. You are becoming. So I come here today to say, let us talk. Let us release what is inside of us to start that healing journey. Let's stop waiting until we hear another story of suicide or self-harm. Let's be the voice of change. Let's break the silence. Beloved, if you are watching this and you are hurting, this is your opportunity to reach out. If you know someone who is hurting, please go ahead and reach out. You know, we are in October, and October is a month where we are raising awareness for mental health. And I've seen that the Sadak campaign this October, it says it very clearly that mental health cannot be left in the shadows. But it is not just about awareness. It is about action. It is about community. It is about sanctuary. And we have places that have been put in place to help and assist us in our journey. Myself, personally, I frequent the Sadak crisis line often. In some of my darkest moments, I've been on the landline with a Sadaq person who talked to me and spoke to me and kept me calm up until I was able to be hospitalized. There's resources available, and we need to make use of them. There's people out there raising awareness and letting us know about such issues. What are you doing with your story? How has your story changed someone else's life? How has your story given somebody help or hope if you keep quiet and you are keeping that story to yourself? And how is that silence helping in your healing? Because if we are unhealed, beloved, we do a lot of damage. A lot of damage to those around us, a lot of damage to our children, a lot of damage in the workplace. We make decisions that influence others' livelihoods from a place of hurt. Therefore, it is very important that we all find healing and that we all break the silence. Let's stop waiting until we hear another tragedy. Reach out. If you know someone who is hurting, send this to them. It's really sad how we would often be posting on social media after someone has taken their lives. If only they have spoken, if only we knew, what could we have done differently? And at that point, beloved, it is too late. Some of us have been fortunate enough to survive it and be here right now in this predestined moment to say, we need help. We need an outlet. We need to break the silence. And before I close this beautiful Wednesday afternoon, slow hump into the weekend, slow hump into our youngsters, enjoying life, going out, seeing places, being kidnapped, being raped, being murdered. Before I close, I just want to invite you to just a small ritual. Place your hand over your heart. Inhale slowly, like sipping in light. And exhale gently, like releasing what no longer serves. Now whisper this with me. My story is scripture. My breath is testimony. Say it again, beloved. My story is scripture, and my breath is testimony. You are not broken. You are becoming. If you want to talk, simply just reply in the comments. If you would like today's healing prompt or a voice note, please message me directly. If you want to share your story, I am here. This is Lady Mwatsi Healing Corner. This is Sanctuary in Motion, and you are worthy of healing. Have a blessed day further, beloved. You are holding, you are held, and you are home. Lady Mwatsi, signing out.